You know we're trying to build this community in 2018, so if you like what I do here, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell, and I'll keep dropping these vids just for you. Hey guys, Nathyn Brandon Masters. If you want to support the channel, check out my website, nightphoenixpress.com. You can find digital and physical copies of my books, role-playing games, and even drawing paper. The money helps support me as well as fund new content, so go check out my site. Hey guys, Nathyn Brandon Masters, Inktober, day 30. One more day left. So I am going to ink a page today, and that's going to be one of the things about Inktober is that a lot of times I do something separate for Inktober. You know, I'll be working on a project or something, and I'll do something separate as opposed to using that project. So today I'm going to actually use that project. You can kind of see what my pages look like if you haven't seen it before. I really set my pages up just, so you know, I usually set my pages up for post work. So what that means is the way I draw, I usually draw keeping in mind that it's going to go to my colorist. So there's not going to be a ton of detail in this. A lot of it's going to be made just mainly line work, but you'll see what it looks like when it's all said and done. There's a lot of cleanup work that I do once I get it into post, and you'll see some of those mistakes that I make on here, and then I clean up in post. Another thing you'll also see is when I do my border lines or my gutter lines, I do them with dark black, and I do that because once I get those get that into the computer, I'm going to go in and actually remake those lines in whatever program I'm using. I was using Photoshop Elements 11, and they have not yet upgraded or updated that for OS Mojave. So I downloaded Pixelmator. I think it's Pixelmator 3.3. I'm not exactly sure, but I downloaded Pixelmator. It looks pretty good. And for those who don't know, Pixelmator it's an app like Photoshop, but it's a lot cheaper, and it tends to do everything Photoshop. At least all the important stuff you need to do, the layers and stuff like that, it tends to do that as well. The test of it for me will be what it's like to letter in that program. So far, all I've done is some graphic design stuff, putting logos on the books using logos I already have. But I definitely have to get used to this program, and kind of quick, because I want these books to come out pretty soon, actually. I also should say this is the first issue with all new artwork. So all the artwork in this particular book is going to be new. It's stuff that I drew either within the past month or somewhere in there. So it's no more old school artwork. One of the things, actually, if you look at the first issue of Epitaph, and you look at the ongoing series first issue of Epitaph, Bread and Salt, there's a thing that happens in there. If you notice, and some people noticed this, some people didn't, but if you're looking at it, he's wearing the trench coat, the blue trench coat, and sometimes the blue trench coat is just a trench coat, and sometimes it's the duster, so it has the flap on it, and that actually changes sometime from page to page. And the reason that happens is because one of those pages was for another book, and in that book he was wearing the duster. So when I brought the artwork over to use in Epitaph, Bread and Salt, I never actually changed the duster. I never changed it back to his normal coat. So sometimes you'll see it's the blue trench coat, sometimes it's the blue duster. So now I've just made the duster his actual coat, and I'm going to try to figure out some way to get that blue duster. In the film, it doesn't necessarily have to be blue, but I really want it to be blue. And if not, I'll see if I can do something to modify the coat that I have to put those flaps over there, over the top, to make it look like the duster in the book. I actually have the hoodie and everything, So I may alter the outfit a little bit for the film. And the thing about it is, once I alter the outfit for the film, I'll probably alter it for the comic book as well, so the comic and the film matches up. So this is the second page to issue 4. The first page is actually done. Now the first page is older art, but I'm going to go in and redraw that so that it too matches up to this new artwork. And this is Mona. She is replacing Jill Morgan, who you may remember from the Epitaph Bread and Salt movie. She walked away from the Talbane Corporation and decided that she wanted nothing more to do with it. She believed that they were involved in demonic activity, and she subsequently quit after a fiery exchange with Mr. Talbane. Now, the backstory on Mona is that she is actually Eunice's niece, and she was suggested for this position by him. In Epitaph Bread and Salt issue 1, where Ashen is trying to join the Rise of Magic, Eunice is the older white-haired gentleman in the background. He's bald in the top. He's kind of hanging back with Acer and Oksana. He's an elder in this particular sect of the Rise of Magic, and that is how Mona got the position of secretary to one of the most powerful businessmen in America, not as Talbane. On this page, they are discussing what to do with Lauren's body, if there is a body, if she's even dead, and what are they going to do with all that money that she left behind, because Lauren is a trust fund baby and she has $1 million trust fund that became hers when she turned 21. Of course, this all happens after the Epitaph Bread and Salt Darksiders book, where Lauren's plane exploded on takeoff, and so now they're trying to find out what to do in the aftermath. But Ashen, who is the young lady in the first panel on this page, has a secret to reveal. If you remember from the Epitaph Bread and Salt movie, Ashen is a very powerful psionic, and with the help of the Psychoblast drug, she can become much more powerful. She's a telepath. She can read people's thoughts and auras, as well as their spiritual signatures, and she can also sense a person's presence. Now, how that will come into play, who knows? But it is something that she can do. Now, I'm actually drawing the interior here. What I tended to do was take photographs and then turn those photographs into line art and then put those in the background, especially, and I still do this a lot with the exteriors. I go downtown or anywhere I think has an interesting look or interesting architecture, something like that. I'll go there and then just take photographs, and then later on I'll take those photographs back into Photoshop, or I guess Pixelmator now. Once I turn it into line art, I will put it behind the character and try to lean it or try to fix it where it's proportional to the character, so it actually looks like it's drawn in. And I still enjoy doing that for the exteriors. But for the interiors, I'm going to try to do more actual work, because there are books coming up that I really want to try to do everything by hand. And that's the one thing that I've been doing this year, is actually doing more artwork by hand, which is actually kind of funny because I'm moving toward more of a digital setup. When I get my iPad Pro and all that, I want to become more digital. But right now I'm really exploring more traditional styles of art and getting into some stuff that I really haven't done before, again with the markers and the watercolors and stuff like that. And I believe learning this stuff will help me become better when I start doing my digital stuff. The end result of all this should be me having the ability to create a comic book all by myself. The penciling, inking, lettering, and coloring, and of course the writing, all done by me, which will allow me to actually publish books quicker. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to do a monthly schedule, because seriously, we don't sell enough books to be doing a monthly schedule. But at least enough that when people come to our website, they have a nice amount of things to choose from. So, and I'm also thinking about updating the website, so the books will go instead of having all the books in one place where you scroll across, I'm thinking about doing it where all the books, the books would be set up by title. So you'd have Epitaph first, and then you would have Victor Locke, then you'd have Decoy, and all that stuff, Zombie Girl, all those books. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Also, I talked about the black and white stuff. I'm still not sure if I want to do that or not, but I think it's something. It's something that I'm putting on the back burner right now. I think I'm going to knock out this issue of Epitaph Bread and Salt, and if I have a really good concept for that book, I think I'll do that. I don't know if I want to do it as a comic book or a graphic novel, but either way, if I do it as a comic book, I'll do it and then maybe combine it into one book, or maybe I'll just do it outright as a book. And I'm looking at making it a 6x9 book, so it'll be like a thick book, but you can get the whole book for I want to say somewhere between maybe $5.95 or $9.95, somewhere in between there. Just like the Blastback role-playing game, that's one of the big things I want to do is make sure the game was about $10. I didn't want the game to end up being $20 or something like that. I really want to condense it, but I don't want to lose money either. So this book, I really want it to be somewhere between the $5 to $10 price tag. So I don't want it to be that much money. But I will see you guys tomorrow for the final day of Inktober. You guys take it easy. Nathyn Brandon Masters. Hasta.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind.